What's up, bikers? Today we're going to talk about back exercises, 3 specifically to really help you stabilize shoulders and ride better. The back might be the last thing you think about when you're training to mountain bike. However, that'll leave you in a massive deficit for stabilizing actual holistic performance. The lats here stabilize the shoulder and go against the pec at the front, which is overworked in that semi-push-up position on your handlebars. So we need to be able to balance around here. And then the upper mid-back, lower traps, rhomboids, and all of this will help hold a good position for a long time. So if you're doing lots of gnarly downhill, it's really important to build endurance, strength, and balance around the shoulder. And that starts with the back.
Yo, Mark 9. They really don't think we can keep
The first movement, super simple, pull-up. However, if you've done chin-ups or pull-ups of different types, please watch this technique so that you get the most out of this movement. If you see, Pat is a dead hang through the shoulders, but he's engaged in his shoulder blades and holding a hollow position. This is really important so that the lower back here isn't overextended. If he's dead hanging like this, look at this. People actually get bulging disc problems from pull-ups because they do so many in this overextended position. So hold a semi-hollow position and then it's a vertical pull. Don't do a hinge back, do the big hinge, do the big hinge. Don't do the big hinge and call this a pull-up to work the lats. That's only compensating for weak lats getting onto your shoulders and rear delts. What we want to do is as vertical as possible. So imagine the top of your head going towards the bar and then moving out of the way, and that'll keep it all onto the lats, which are the primary muscles for this movement. Now, I know a lot of you can't do strict pull-ups to that degree, so scale it down like this. The first scaling option is a band simply around the top of the pull-up bar. Hook it around your foot, and then the technique remains exactly the same. Obviously, it's going to get heavier at the top because the band has less tension on it, but this is a good starting point to get full range. Often we see people that struggle with pull-ups doing half reps. Do half reps, Pat. Do half reps. At the top. Top half reps. So chin over bar, he's met the movement standards of a strict pull-up, but look, his arms are still semi-bent and he's so tight onto his traps. This isn't going to be conducive of being an athlete. Back up, back up. So by doing pull-ups that aren't the way that I'm teaching you right now, very often we get trap pump. So these traps here get over-engaged and overcompensate, overdeveloped, and then your lats are less turned on, shoulders are less stable, you get more of this hunch round position, and you're gonna f yourself. Plain simple. The second scaling option looks like this, with a band over the top again, but you're going to link your hands in. You're not actually doing a pull-up, but we're going to replicate that vertical pull-in position. So all of this is nicely braced. It also helps that obviously you're not going to overextend your spine here, and then focus really hard on retracting the scapula and keeping the movement super strict and all the way down onto the lats. Watch your back, watch your back. That's it, nice. How many could you do with that? The second movement is the Pendlay row. Glenn Pendlay. Thanks, Glenn. Before he left us with this row. Well, you shouldn't laugh at poor Glenn. He was a legend of weightlifting.
His one gift to the human race.
This is it. I hope that I am as famous as Glenn Pendlay for this one movement when I die. Glenn, God rest his soul, left us with the Pendlay row specifically for weightlifting. He was a weightlifting coach, but this reflects so well on mountain biking because watch. We're in this hinge position, loading isometrically the lower back, glutes and hamstrings, but at the same time, we get all of the goodness from this parallel row to the chest. So a dead hang, but staying engaged through the scapula there. Priority is lower back curve. If you have the mobility to, go all the way down to the ground each time. The goal is to have your torso parallel to the ground, bam. Unlike a regular bent over row that might look a bit like this. Go on, do your bro reps. Hunched over, lower back awful, all on the traps, jerking at the hips. This is only good for egos, not for performance. Movement number 3 is the band pull apart. Look, Pat doesn't have a massive band. This isn't about ultra strength. This is about range and retraction of the scapula to focus on the upper mid back and not the upper traps. We want it down low, thinking really about squeezing like you got a pencil between those shoulder blades. If you go too heavy, go too heavy. Oh, then you get all this funky position, this dysfunction over the shoulder, and this is going to create more imbalance and strength where we don't want it. We want it in the functional movements to stabilize the shoulder. So that then, when you're riding, you can have all of the strength and endurance and function and mobility to help you hang on for longer, ride faster, be better. And if you want to be even better than that, sign up to Fit for Racing. Peace. He's going for it. No! Don't even get me started on kipping pull-ups just yet. That is an entirely different video. And if you want to see that, subscribe, hit the bell button. Make sure you see it first, because it's going to be brutal. See you next time. Peace.